Okay, this story is about when I was probably in the fourth or fifth grade, somewhere around that particular grade or age. Um, the neighborhood children decided to get together, which were mostly cousins around there. We played outside a lot anyway. And so we had a big old cornfield that, further down the road where there are a lot of houses there now. But there were this big cornfield, so we decided to go in this cornfield and play hide and seek. And we were just running up and down the roads. And at the time, I wore glasses, which I didn't particularly like wearing glasses anyway. I mean, they were real glasses at that particular time. The real heavy glass seemed like. And they were round like a Ben Franklin glasses. And I hated I had to wear them, but I hated wearing glasses because when they sat on my nose, it seemed like they were so heavy. And it always gave me a headache. But anyway, I think that was my excuse not for wearing them anyway. But anyway, I wasn't paying attention, and we were playing in the cornfield, up and down. And we were running, and my glasses came off and kind of hung up on the corn stalks. And so I looked and I thought, ooh, accidentally. I didn't particularly think at that time. I didn't care whether or not I lost them or not because I didn't like them anyway. But anyway, when we were finished playing, we kept on playing, and so when we finished, we went on home and continued to play in the yard and everything. So when we went in the house, it was time to probably almost supper time. And so my mama happened to turn around and she said, "Where are your glasses?" And I said, "I don't know. I lost them." And she looked at me with her big eyes and she said, "Lost them where?" And I said, "I don't know. We were playing." And she was, "Playing where?" And I said, "Oh, we were in a cornfield." So she turned around, "You go back into that cornfield, you find those glasses, and you don't come back without them." So, and I said, "Whoa." I said, "But it's almost dark. You go into the cornfield and you find those glasses." And so I gather up some of my cousins and all. I say, "Can y'all help me find my glasses?" And so anyway, we went back in the cornfield, hunted. I kind of had an idea where they were because I had, didn't go back to really take them off the stalk. And so anyway, after a long time, it was almost dark. You could still see it was almost dark. Anyway, I found them and came back to the house. And my mom looked at me. I don't remember her saying anything, but I knew that if I didn't come back without those glasses, I was in big trouble. And so I had all my cousins and, neighborhood kids looking. But I was the one that found them because I kind of had an idea where they were. But anyway, she was very adamant. I was going to be in big trouble because I didn't like them because kids used to call you four-eyed. And they were heavy and they were real glasses. Now I call them glasses. Because they got plastic lens. But anyway.
Were they expensive? Is that why?
I don't know how much they were. I'm sure they were at that time. I'm sure they were expensive. They were good glasses because they had gold rims. And seemed like they wouldn't break. I think I probably sat on them or either dropped them, but they still didn't break.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Accidentally trying to get rid of them. But I